Dude, and he got that Kentucky chain. He's rocking that, bro.
Dude, he is.
Go Cards.
And just going back to like the look, like that is such the 90s look.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to 5.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ville Chillin' Podcast. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Hometown Hero banners based on a new release that just came out in the last couple of months. Somebody that should have been recognized probably a long time ago.
Yeah.
Talking about the one and only, the late, the great Static
Major.
Yes. I mean, you can't really talk, like, especially late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop or R&B without talking Static Major. And he was in the game, like, from 1990 on.
Yeah, he definitely represented that sound, that, 90s, early 2000s. Definitely, he was rocking that.
Yeah. I mean, as it says here in the title, like his main number one that he got was Lollipop, Lil Wayne in 2008. Came out right after he passed, R.I.P. But it literally is that sound from, the 2000s.
Definitely. It's been a while, it's been a while for them to actually, honor them. They've been doing the Hometown Hero banners for a while. So, it's definitely time, especially with Jack Harlow and, Bryson Tiller kind of speaking on him and how much of an influence he was, to that sound here locally and, around.
But, I mean, not to get the script flipped, but, I mean, Louisville wasn't really recognizing its hip-hop heroes, if you will.
Right.
Until Jack Harlow, and then like Jack Harlow got a banner, and it was only right that they had to give one to Static Major too. You know what I'm saying? And Bryson Tiller's due one now. You know what I'm saying?
He's next.
For sure, he's got to get one now. Major's niece even ended up commenting on it down here, saying it's long overdue. It should have been up a long time ago, but that's neither here nor there. She said, to the world, he's Static Major, but to us, he's just Uncle Steve. He's Daddy's son. So just to see him be appreciated in the city he loved and was born in is such a blessing. So,
Yes, sir.
pretty awesome. He not only wrote Lollipop, or like helped produce Lollipop at least for Wayne, but I mean, he had his own groups. He was in the group Playa, who had a 98 single, Cheers to You, which made top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. He wrote hits for Ginuwine as well as Aaliyah. And rumor has it there might have even been a little relationship between Aaliyah and Static.
R.I.P. Aaliyah.
R.I.P. to both, man. It's wild. Wild losses. I mean, Aaliyah it was a plane crash, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got him to surgery complications.
Very young, too. Yeah.
Both of them, yeah. Sad. But he, like we said, he's been active since at least 1990. He formed the group Playa in 1990, which was a part of the larger DMV-based musical collective Swing Mob, led by Devontae Swing. That collective is huge, too. When you look at Swing Mob, you got Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Ginuwine, just tons of people in Swing Mob. And they had numerous hits. So pretty huge, man, to think. Growing up, we always heard the music, but I guess I at least wasn't as in tune with, where they were from as much. So right. I didn't really know. Like, I knew the name Static Major, but it just never clicked to me as a kid because, I mean, back then I was young. So his group Playa formed in 1990, and they had a few hits and featured tracks with Ginuwine, Aaliyah, Wayne, Brandy. Big names. Big names.
Definitely. Again, that 90s, all those people I can think of from, that 90s and that 2000s. So and it's coming back again with, like the new generation with Harlow and Bryson Tiller kind of bringing it back, using it and sampling it and their newer stuff.
Yeah, that's the coolest part of like hip hop and I think R&B to me is how much it's standing. I mean, all of music in general is standing on the shoulders of giants, right?
Definitely.
But back in
that was Newton, I think, too, right?
He did say that, I think, but was it him or Einstein? One of those physicists.
They were all on giants, I think.
One of those physicists said it, but yeah, like hip hop and rap in the 80s, 90s, like it was all sampling music from like the 60s and 70s. They were taking sounds, mixing it, mastering
Speeding
it
up, slowing it down.
Yeah. And you got some crazy, funky ass sounds out of it. And now we're just seeing the same thing come back around. What's up, everybody? We just wanted to take a quick pause and say, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Drop us a couple comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't, and let us know what you think about the video. And make sure to share out with your friends and family. It really helps us a lot.
Yeah, we're on every social media platform. We're on every podcast provider out there. So whenever you get a chance, just give us a like, give us a follow. We definitely appreciate it. It really help us out.
And with that, we'll get right back to it.
Yo.
And then, of course, with Harlow and Tiller getting on the song "Love Is Dro," which featured samples from some works of Static Major before. It's just the same thing, and it's really awesome. When that song came out, like we probably should have done an episode back then just to kind of recognize it, like it is awesome that they did that for the city.
Definitely.
And the intro to that song's pretty awesome too. Like they're literally doing it like a radio hit, you know what I'm saying? Like talking about bus routes and shit that we know about, and it's just crazy, man. It's
definitely an homage to the city for sure.
Yeah. And like if you got the likes of like Tupac and Biggie and everybody who it seems even now is releasing new songs every year, which but they did Static Major right by releasing that the way they did with who they did. I think it made sense.
Yeah, very authentic, I think, to the original sound and, just kept it alive.
The original sound and just the original people, the people that were on it are from here. You know what I'm saying? It's not just some random artist who bought the name Static Major. It means something to the city, which I think is really cool. One thing that I find pretty interesting, or like that I wish I could know more about, is how we got the name Static Major. And I wish we could find information on it. I tried to look it up a little bit, but I think there's two things here. The first one that stuck out to me was static in the terms of physics is concerned with bodies at rest or forces in equilibrium. So I like to think that it was kind of that, just bringing balance to the sounds of music that he was trying to create, in the whole equilibrium aspect, but
also science.
Yeah, exactly. Physics. So yeah, back to Newton and Einstein. But at the same time, knowing that it was the early 90s when he got his start, the adjective version, there's another adjective for it, which means lacking in movement, action, or change, especially in a way viewed as undesirable or uninteresting. So when you're talking about like Tupac in the day and everything, like very against the norm, against the grain, the news portrayed hip hop and everything in such a bad light. I wish there was a way to know. Like I couldn't find anything looking into it. So if anybody listening does know of an article where he spoke on his name, or anybody he was close to spoke on how he chose the name Static, because he started out as Static before he became Static Major. It'd be cool to know.
The word static comes to mind when I think of the 90s in a lot of ways too. Like you got the antenna going, you barely get some reception, that's you get static, right?
Facts.
Like same thing with the radio, like whenever you're listening to the radio or something back then.
And maybe that was it. Like, maybe that's, or maybe it was something about, canceling out the Static, or, who knows. I just think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to kind of just think on where the artist names come from, especially in that time, and especially for hip hop artists. It can come from some unexpected places. So,
dude, and he got that Kentucky chain. He's rocking that, bro.
Dude, he is. Go
Cards.
And just going back to like the look, like that is such the 90s look. It's like it's such a portrayal of the time. You know what I'm saying? And so much of what he did came from right here in the Ville. And right there with Def Jam. Awesome.
Yeah. He just passed away way too young.
Yep. They to speak on that, I guess, a little bit. If you don't know, it was complications from a medical procedure. He was only 33. He felt extremely sick and went back to his hometown to seek medical attention. According to the coroner's office, he went into respiratory arrest and bled after a removal of a catheter that was improperly inserted. So I don't think the case ever really went anywhere. They tried to go for medical negligence, which, who knows? I mean, in today's day and age, it might have been a lot more possible. It's been almost 20 years. Definitely sad. It sucks.
Yeah, he definitely, unfortunately, it feels like he didn't get any of his flowers until after he passed in a lot of ways.
Well, 100%, because Lollipop didn't even actually release publicly until after.
Exactly, and which, they was able to dedicate, all that to him, the music video, but it was literally the month. Like, I think.
It was within a month afterward, yeah. He passed February 25th, and Lollipop released March 13th. So literally like
couple
2
weeks.
weeks, 2.5 weeks later, yeah. So he did get, didn't he get a Grammy off of that?
Yes, Grammy award-winning Static Major. That's one thing some of the news outlets kind of forgot to mention. This isn't. He's a Grammy award-winning. So he's definitely. Which did they put it there?
Yeah, he got boom. Also won a Grammy in 2009.
Yeah. But some of the news outlets kind of forgot to put that in some of their headlines.
And got called out, rightfully
they got called out. But yes.
Rightfully so,
real
man.
quick.
But yeah, it sucks, man. Just more talent that's been taken away way too soon. And who knows what could have been done for the local music, the local hip-hop, R&B scene, if that hadn't happened. Like we said, we got Bryson Tiller, we got Jack Harlow, but could it have happened easier and faster, and could there be even more people to blow up?
Right. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now, like with the way that the local scene's going. There's a lot of other talent here too.
There is, yeah.
On top of that, so it's definitely evolving.
It is, yeah. It's getting more recognition now, but again, we're saying after Bryson Tiller came up and did his thing, and then Jack Harlow doing his thing has brought obviously a lot of attention. Hopefully it continues. Not much more we can say other than that, but hopefully it continues, and happy to see that Static finally got his place on the buildings, because he definitely deserved it. He did so much, not just for Louisville music, but music in general. And
I think we, like you were mentioning, like Tupac and some of the other artists who passed away who are still coming out with music. I think you said Biggie. Same thing's going to be happening with Static Major. I think we'll still see some new. I don't think this is the last we've seen of some of the stuff that he's had tucked away as far as like some of his art.
He's had a couple other things other than just Love Is Dro. In 2018, he was on Drake's song After Dark. And then in 2021, a posthumous single from Aaliyah was released, and the song featured The Weeknd and credited Static Major as well. So there's more coming out, but I think it's there might be a lot of politics around it. We're obviously just speculating, but maybe there's some politics with whoever owns the rights to it, deciding who gets to be on it. It's probably Def Jam, just based on who's been on the other ones.
Or it could be the family wanting to make sure, just kind of holding on to the state, making sure everything's done appropriately.
Could be, yeah.
So far, I think everything sounds amazing. I think whoever's handling it, correctly, as long as everybody around is getting paid. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's not just like random things being released left and right with anybody and everybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Which, when we've seen whole albums from Tupac, it's kind of like, hold on a minute.
Right, where it was, yes, where some of the state was probably, some of the catalog could have been probably used more selectively, and they just kind of was throwing stuff to make stuff. So yeah, with this, you can definitely see that there's a lot of thought behind it as far as like the different, stuff that they're coming out with.
Exactly. But I would love to see them still kind of releasing stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Especially with like Harlow and Bryson, and I mean, especially more Louisville artists. I think it does wonders for the careers and just the image and the name of Louisville to see such big names alongside a late legend.
Yeah. And again, he's rocking a chain with the state of Kentucky on it, man.
The whole state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
awesome.
A pretty badass chain. That's the highways, right?
I think that's the waterways, bro.
Is it?
I think.
Either way, it's pretty awesome. Definitely an awesome chain. So, yeah, it'll be cool to see what happens, what continues to happen. Again, glad he finally getting his flowers. He finally getting his sign. He's finally getting his recognition across the city. Because we've talked about it before. These signs, like, when you're not from here and you don't know who these people are, and you're traveling through, even for something like the Derby or anything, a college basketball game or a concert at the Yum Center, you're seeing all these signs, and it makes you question, it makes you wonder. How we was just out of town, and how many things did we drive by and we're like, huh, what's that about?
Right, the story behind
who's
it.
that? What happened? And so it does a lot. And especially in the newer generation, there's probably kids listening to hip hop and everything now who don't know Lollipop. You know what I'm saying? So, damn well they don't know Ginuwine and Aaliyah. So,
I guess it's been almost
20 years.
20, man, it's good.
It's like, 17? It came out in 2008.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 16 years. Yeah. Now I feel old.
We'll end it on that one. So
yeah.
It's been a good show.
With that. But yeah, it's wild. So good to see it. Happy to see it. And
looking forward to see some more.
Yeah, can't wait to see who they throw up next on the building. So I guess with that, we'll call it there. And we will see everyone next time.
Yeah.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to 5.